Guys did that.
We're going to be taking your calls, as always, throughout the course of the show, 601-877-6595. You can also send us an email, football@alcorn.edu. We've had a few of those, quite a few phone calls the last several weeks. A lot to talk about, including the SWAC released their all-academic team, and we're going to talk about that as we go along. The SWAC released that earlier this afternoon, and we'll get into that as well. 26 football players are on that list, so we'll talk about that as well. All right, Jay Hopson, let's get into the highlights. It was a good football game and a good start for the Braves, as we've been talking about. As we get into the highlights, the Braves started at their own 15-yard line, and then Texas Southern took over at their 15, got to the 32-yard line. They were at the third and fourth, their own 32-yard line. And when you look at it, Jay Hopson, the defense really stepped up, and here's our first highlight. Backs to the left and right of Jay Kristoff on 3rd down and 4. He's straight back to pass, looking right, bounces it out to the outside left, plants, reverses his field, steps out of a tackle, and down he goes. Instead of trying to unload it, he had to eat it. Gatewood as well as Cantu in on the sack for the Braves. Cedric Tillman, a good stop defensively. We really kept those quarterbacks contained.
Yeah, we did a good job. They were athletic QBs, and we knew they liked to get out and run. And I thought not only we had a little pressure going that time, but I thought our front four did a great job, and our 4-man rush stuff also keeping them in the pocket.
So the drive stalled. The Tigers were forced to punt. So the Braves headed 1st down and 10 from Texas Southern's 35-yard line, as the Braves were looking for a fast start in this one. No Darian Ragsdale out of the pistol. The A-Train, Anthony Williams. Now they hand on from a reverse tip. McKenzie to the 30, to the 25, to the 20, to the 15, one block to the 10, to the 5, to the 3. Make it the 2, a gain of 33. On the reverse, Cedric Tillman, and it was open for Tip McKenzie. Showed power, showed speed. 1st and goal. 1st down and goal. The A-Train plows ahead, and the A-Train scores for the touchdown. So the Braves on the reverse got it in the red zone, where they're pretty good in the red zone, and Anthony A-Train Williams with the carry and the touchdown. That was an 8-play, 73-yard drive.
It was a really good drive. You talking about the opening drive?
Yes.
That was a 2-play drive, wasn't it? Right off the get-go, the reverse and Train, we just punched it in. But that was a big play by Tip that got us down there, and then a nice run by Train.
So the Braves got off to the fast start, up 7-0. The next Braves drive started at their own 27-yard line, had a 4th down and 1 from their own 36-yard line. Aaron Baker to the right of Gibbs on 4th down. And here is Baker, gets the 1st down to the 40-45, and is popped close to midfield by Demetrius Johnson, the DB. So they went forward on 4th down and less than a yard at their own 36, and Aaron Baker picks up the 1st. Talk about that.
I felt like we could get it. I really, to be honest with you, I felt like we kind of challenged our offensive line on that one, because I felt like we should have got it on 3rd down, and I actually thought we might have gotten it, but I just felt like we could get it, and we had got stopped at Grambling a couple times, and just wanted to challenge them, and the guys answered the bell.
Yep, Aaron Baker had a solid ball game yet again. So as the drive continued, Jay Hopson, we got to Texas Southern's 20-yard line. Here is Gibbs out on the edge, wide open. It's caught. Jordan Payne at the 10-5, touchdown. Payne from 20, and the Braves are PAT away. Cedric Tillman from a 14-0 lead. That was the big 73-yard drive.
Yes, that was a nice drive, and I thought we had the first half. I thought John did a great job too on his reads and progressions. We had some big catches out there. Darren made a nice grab. Orlando Vills caught the ball and was physical, and of course Charles Hughes later makes a huge play. So really thought the receivers did some good things with the football, and I really thought John was really good in his progression.
So the Braves with a 2-score lead early, a fast start. Texas Southern's next drive started at their own 25-yard line with 4:39 left in the first quarter, picked up a 1st down, and after a 51-yard Corey Carter kick, Alcorn started at their own 35-yard line. Nothing. A little scan here with Tip McKenzie to the right, Jordan Payne to the left. Looks like Jarvis Turner to the left. On 3rd down and 10 from their own 35. Gibbs out of the shotgun, backs to pass, looks, throws underneath. This is caught. McKenzie to the 45, to the 50, 45, and goes out of bounds. Same thing that Texas Southern did to us a moment ago, running everybody deep. Cedric Tillman and McKenzie underneath the coverage and picks up the first. Right of Gibbs. Now the A-train in motion. They fake. And there's a pass deflected, but caught. Missed tackle, 20, inside the 10. Down to the 7-yard line. And Orlando Beals with the catch. Shedded 2 tacklers. As the quarter expires, the Braves in the red zone. Where we've been pretty good this year. We end the first quarter like we started the game with some momentum.
No question. A couple of good drives. I think, again, I thought John did a great job, and our receivers did a good job, getting some yards after catch. And John recognized pressure a couple times and busted it wide open. So that's good stuff. So I thought we executed really well in that first half offensively.
Yeah, offensively we were sharp, and defensively I believe 3 sacks in that first quarter.
Yeah, and we had some pressure, and I thought we did for the most part. We did a good job keeping their quarterbacks, and we knew all 3 of them were very athletic, and I thought for the most part we did a good job of keeping them contained.
14-0, the Braves with the lead. And on the march as we get into the second quarter highlights, we'll take a timeout here 10 minutes after 6 o'clock. Glad you can join us on this Monday night as the Braves won't be home for a while. We've got Prairie View bye week, Alabama A&M, and then Military Appreciation Day is the next home game against UAPB. 601-877-6595. Football@alcorn.edu. Send us an email. Don't forget, in less than an hour here on campus, it's the Purple Madness at the Davy L. Whitney Complex. We'll introduce the Lady Braves and the 2014-2015 Alcorn Braves. I'll be there. WPRL will have live coverage with Jay Miles. So a lot going on campus on this week, especially last week with homecoming. We'll take a 1-minute break, and we'll be right back after this on the Jay Hopson Radio Show.
This is WPRL 91.7 FM, Alcorn Public Radio. We welcome your emails or phone calls. For the music director, J. Miles at alcorn.edu, 601-877-6594. For Charles Edmond, operations manager, it's C. Edmond at alcorn.edu, 601-877-2480. And for Myrtle Hedrick, traffic director, it's Myrtle at alcorn.edu, 601-877-6290. WPRL 91.7 FM, your university community-minded radio station.
All right, welcome back. 11 minutes after 6 o'clock. Glad you can join us on this Monday night as the Braves head to Prairie View. We're going to talk about the Panthers who defeated Mississippi Valley, and we're pitching a shutout until the fourth quarter. We'll be talking about Lovelock and Bear and those cast of characters at Blackshear Field. A tough place to play and win. Prairie View obviously has taken care of their business at home. They're on a little streak after a shaky start. They lost some close games early. They beat Jackson State there. I was there to see that game, and they beat Alabama State. Then they beat Valley, so they're one of the hotter teams in the league, and we're heading there on Saturday for a 1 o'clock kickoff. We'll have the pregame show at 12:30. All right, Jay Hopson, as we get into the second quarter highlights, and a lot of momentum going into the second, the Braves had it first down and goal from Texas Southern's 2-yard line. First and goal from the 2. 14-0, the Braves with the lead, and here is Gibbs with the keeper, and Gibbs gets in for the touchdown. John Gibbs, 5th in the league in rushing, early second quarter, and the Braves, Dave Crosby, a PAT away from a 21-0 start. That was a 65-yard drive, a minute 25 off the clock.
Yeah, really, we had some explosive plays there, and John, again, a great job on his read right there. They took the dive, and he pulled it and touchdown.
And Hayden McRaney, unfortunately, with his second miss of the year. So the Braves are up 20-0. Texas Southern's first drive of the second quarter started at their own 35-yard line. Smalls in for his second series in for Jay Kristoff. Smalls under center. And here's Davion Porter, sheds a tackler, cuts it up the middle. Porter to the 40, 45, to the 50, 45, to the 40, 35, 30, 25. Cantu rides him out of bounds inside the 15 to the 13. So a big run, 50-yard run. Davion Porter, Dave Crosby, and Texas Southern's in business. So that got to the Braves' 13-yard line, and just like that, Texas Southern making something happen. Smalls flushed out to the left. He can take off. Just going to lob it, and it's a catch. Touchdown, Texas Southern. 2 plays. Malik Cross, his 5th touchdown of the year. So that was a 2-play, 65-yard drive.
Right. Had a hit us on a little zone pressure there where we had a couple guys in the hole to make it. We got to make that play, and then we had a little bit of a bust there on the goal line route. So just a couple of execution deals that certainly you got to clean up.
Give us a difference between, you talk about Cyrus and the other backs. What makes Davion Porter such a slippery customer?
He's fast and he's quick, and both of them are. Cyrus is too, and we're going to play a couple running backs this weekend that are fast and quick, and and those guys that are agile and they're able to play in space, and sometimes, in the open field, that's always one of the hardest things to do is tackle in the open field, and those guys that are really fast and agile always present problems if you give them that space. And so that's something they ran a little draw. We actually we should have been in there. They hit us in a big gap right there. We should have been in there, but and we did get in there. We just got to make the play.
So Texas Southern on the board. It's 20-7 at that point in the game. The Braves' next drive started at their own 25, picked up a first down. There was a sack in there, and Alcorn was faced with a 3rd down and 8 from our own 37-yard line. Baker to the left of Gibbs in the backfield. Gibbs back to pass. Good protection. Throws over the middle. As the catch. Hughes to the 40, to the 30, to the 20, to the 10. Touchdown. 64 yards. Charles Hughes over the middle, and once he got separation, Dave Crosby, no one was going to get him. That was a big play.
Big play, and Charles has made quite a few big plays this year. He's a young man that just gets better and better, and like I said, he's already made a major contribution this year, but he's going to be a great player here.
So it's 27-7. Then on the ensuing kickoff, Texas Southern mishandles it, and the Braves, Devon Francois with the recovery.
Yeah, it was a big play. It was a big play. Again, had the big play on the pass, and then come back and get the ball on their plus side of the field of the kickoff team. It was really that was almost kind of a back-breaking moment, I think. We got that, went in and got some more points, and that definitely was we began to steamroll then.
Yeah, the Braves with that started at their own 31-yard line, got to Texas Southern's 14. Could have been better. Ladarian Davis was called for a holding penalty on the edge. So we were faced with a 3rd down and 13 from Texas Southern's 14. Ladarian Davis wide right, play clock at 3, 2, 1. They just got it off. Gibbs back to pass, looks, throws, a little check down. There's a catch at the 15 to the 10. It's a touchdown, Ladarian Davis. Across the formation, Ladarian Davis dragged all the way across the field. Dave Crosby from right to left, running everybody deep underneath, touchdown. Yep, and good makeup as he was called for the hold the play before.
No harm, no harm, no foul. You do that and you come out with the touchdown. Well, that's all bets are off. So a great job by Ladarian getting it in there.
How tough is that? Because that's one thing we have had, and that's officials have a tough job as it is. Those holds on the receiver on the edge.
Well, that one was a hold. I think they made the right call right there. Jarvis. We could have possibly hit it up in there a little bit quicker inside, but, he got behind him, and again, it happens sometimes. It's not something that we want to do, but, I think the guy got inside of him, but like I said, Ladarian bounced back and made a huge play, and that's what it's about, bouncing back.
Talk about the year he had. I think he had the Hail Mary in game 1 towards the end there. Just talk about the year that he's had so far.
Ladarian, he actually was injured in 2 days, and he's really bounced. But he had a tough August, and then he came back and has really, he's been a solid player for us for 3 straight years. And Ladarian has made a number of plays here, and we need him to make some more on Saturday.
It was 33-7 at that point with the touchdown by Ladarian Davis. The 2-point conversion failed. So Texas Southern's next drive started at their own 25. Jamal Smalls in for Jay Kristoff at quarterback, and they were faced with a 3rd down and 9. On 3rd down, Smalls throws, and this ball is intercepted. Anthony Williams Jr. He jumped a route and picked it off. Second turnover for Texas Southern, and the Braves defense, Cedric Tillman, coming to play.
Yeah, big play. I mean, Ant did a great job. He bounced it around there 3 or 4 times before he got it, but did a great job picking it off. And again, that was a big play, difference maker play. Sets our offense up again, and like I said, I think after that turnover, boom, touchdown, interception, touchdown, special teams and defense certainly helped the cause, and I thought the offense was rolling.
Yeah, it was 1st down and 10 after that pick from Texas Southern's 34. We were faced with a 3rd and 2. The North footman in the game picked up the 1st down. So on this play, it was 1st down and 10. Footman, hand off Aaron Baker to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, to the 5, touchdown.
Oh, man, what a run.
So it was 40-7, Jay Hopson, with 5.5 minutes left in the first half.
Right, and everything was going our way right there. You get that second quarter, everything was definitely in our favor, and that was good to see. And it was good to see the guys come out that first half, executing like they were. Again, they take it down here right before half and get a field goal. And we had a couple of opportunities on 3rd down where we should have gotten them off the field, but again, it was a solid half.
So it's 40-7, 5.5 minutes left. Texas Southern's next drive started at their 34, 2 first downs. There was a pass interference on Gatewood. So Texas Southern was at Alcorn 17. The drive fizzled, and Eric Medina on for a 35-yard field goal attempt. Snapback ball now. Kick is up, and the kick is good. Texas Southern gets 3. With a minute left, the Braves have 3 timeouts, and the Braves are up 40-10. I was surprised that they kicked it, considering how far they were in the hole in the game.
Yeah, I thought they might go for it too.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they were getting the points, and sometimes right before half, it's always good to get some points. It gives you a little bit of momentum.
So at that point, Jay Hopson, a 30-point lead at half. Speech at halftime.
Well, the biggest thing with our guys was finish. And again, we wanted to. Not just rest on a 40-10 lead, but go out defensively and get the ball back to our offense. Our offense had the first possession because we deferred the toss, and I thought we had some drives. We got in the 3rd quarter, we went down the field, and we had a 4th and 1 they stopped us on, and then we actually had a turnover deep inside their territory. Defensively, I thought we did some pretty good things in the second half. And the last drive, we kind of got on to our younger guys. We got some 2s and 3s in the game, and they went down there and scored at the very end. And, we tried to make that statement to them that, whoever's on the field, you're expected to get them off the field, and that's something that we didn't do on that final drive. But, again, that's a learning experience, too, for a lot of the younger guys. So it's always a positive when you get those guys in the game.
21 minutes after 6 o'clock, we'll take a timeout and look at the 3rd quarter highlights coming your way. We're going to talk about Prairie View. We'll have the SWAC report. A lot to talk about here as we have 2 straight on the road and a bye week coming up as we wind it down the final month of the regular season. 22 minutes after 6 o'clock, we'll be back in 60 seconds on the Alcorn Football Radio Network.
Get ready, ASU and surrounding areas, as the Alcorn State University Extension Program hosts the Extension This Week radio show. Extension This Week will offer weekly highlights of Extension's current and future programs, events, and activities. It will also offer important information in areas such as community gardening, health and fitness, and community resource development. We will air live from the reservation every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m., hosted by 4-H youth specialist Mrs. Manola Irby. So tune in to WPRL 91.7 FM Alcorn Public Radio, or you can also listen on the web at www.wprl.org.
All right, 22 minutes after the hour, Braves fans, basketball season is right around the corner, so Purple Madness is here. It starts in about 35 minutes. It's the annual Braves basketball official party and rally tonight at 7 o'clock at the Davy L. Whitney Complex, hosted by head coach Luther Riley. We'll talk about the 2014-15 Alcorn Braves. We'll introduce the Lady Braves as well. There'll also be a slam dunk contest, a three-point shootout, live performances, giveaways. The cheerleaders will be there, celebrity judges I wonder what celebrities. I guess we'll find out.
Hey, Luther will have somebody good. I know that.
There'll be all kinds of stuff happening there. So check it out. I'll be there as your MC bringing you all the action. For more details, go to alcornsports.com. All right, give us a call, 601-877-6595, 601-877-6595, or send us an email, football@alcorn.edu. All right, folks, as we look at the third quarter highlights, Texas Southern at their own 30-yard line as we fast forward the action, 7 1/4 left in the third quarter. It was 2nd down and 8 from their own 46-yard line. 2nd down and 8. Kristoff with Porter to his right. Back to pass, 3-step drop throws, caught, big hit. Held on for the first down. And a flag. This might be a targeting penalty here. Lowering the head. Targeting might be the call right here, Cedric Tillman.
I thought he got him up around his shoulder pads, but I think he's going to call it golfing.
Personal foul, targeting, number 23, defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. By rule, number 23 is disqualified.
All right, where do we start on that, Jay Hopson, or can we start anywhere?
Well, we can start. I mean, it's I kind of agree with Cedric on it. I've freeze-framed it. I thought it was below the, even on the freeze frame, I thought it was below the, every bit of the contact was below the neck area, but it was one of those deals where you got the penalty is what it is, and, it's just one of those deals where, it's, there definitely was not a launch, and there definitely was not any helmet-to-helmet contact on it. But I guess sometimes, the viciousness of the hit or whatever sometimes warrants the penalty. But that's what he's got. So at the end of the day, we live with it and accept it.
The obvious question now. Will that penalty stick? You all sending the tape?
Yes, I mean it'll be he'll be out for the first half of this upcoming game. So it is what it is, and like I said, we will respect that decision and move on.
Yeah, and with the penalty, it's 4 quarters from when you were ejected.
No, well, actually, we've got the it's the half. He's ready to come in start of the third quarter. So.
Yeah, that was a tough penalty because Francois was having a solid game.
Yeah, it was tough. And again, and I saw the same thing that Sid saw out there on the field. And again, I mean, I can only go with what my eyes see. And then I, went and looked at it and freeze-framed it. And, because I didn't want to make any comment until I watched it on video and film. And I still have to stand by with what I see on the video. You know what I'm saying? I see I see the contact below the shoulder pad level, and it was a hard hit now, and I will give you that. It was a hard hit, and but it's one of those deals too that I always worry about the safety of the defender too. And I think so many times, all that's talked about is the safety of the offensive player, or the quote-unquote the defenseless player. But a lot of times now when these receivers catch the ball, they're ducking real low. They catch it right before contact and they duck. And so these DBs are trying to come in and not make any type of above-the-shoulder contact. We're getting these players too low, you know what I'm saying? What's happening is, and I think their bodies are getting put in vulnerable situations because of sometimes of this, so it's getting – we're kind of on some uncharted ground with these with some of these rules, and it's something that I had a teammate that died, so I'm very sensitive to that. You know what I'm saying? As far as bull your neck, see what you hit, and I don't like seeing guys having to go too low to avoid certain things because sometimes I get scared that neck gets in vulnerable positions when you get too low. So I'm kind of a lone crusader out there of. Just, bull your neck, see what you hit, and a lot of people preach that, but, when guys bull their neck and see what they hit, a lot of times they get penalized for it too. So you can't preach one thing and penalize for another thing. So, and I think, and of course, Harold does a tremendous job. Our conference official does a tremendous job. And we had open discussions today, and I truly respect that decision, but I'm kind of a crusader for safety on both ends with the defender and it's something that really the coaches have to stand up for more so than the officials. And I think the coaches in college football are going to have to really stand up, and the officials are put in a tough situation because it's bang bang decisions, and they're not the ones that they're just enforcing the rules that are out there, but the coaches I think have got to stand up, and we've got to start protecting not only the offensive receiver, we got to start protecting our defenders too, and making sure they're not having to go too low, because once the receiver catches the ball, he ducks so low that it's hard to get below that helmet area, unless you put yourself in vulnerable positions. So it's just one of my, I guess, through my life experiences and having watched a teammate that I loved and, watching him die, it wasn't a whole lot of fun for me. And so I kind of preach that message, and, hopefully we can kind of find some kind of even ground where it's safety for both parties.
Yeah, so I guess it's the balance of safety versus overkill.
It is. It's safety. I mean, because what happens is nobody wants concussions, and nobody wants, and we're all as coaches, we're all very sensitive to that. And I've had 3 or 4 myself, so it's something we don't want. But then again, we also don't want. We've got to be careful, because what happens, you're seeing in the NFL too, they're penalized, so all these DBs are coming low because they're doing everything they can to avoid making helmet they're really getting low. Sometimes their necks are lowering because they're just scared of getting penalized. And sometimes we have to understand, are these rules safe or are they not? And I think it's a fine line. It's safe in one regard, but it gets kind of dangerous in another regard. So it's a very fine line that I think coaches are going to have to stand up. And it's not really, and I'm basically calling out to coaches. I mean, we've got to stand up and try to keep both parties safe in this game.
Well, with Francois being ejected, the drive continued for Texas Southern, obviously. They got the ball to the Braves' 12-yard line where it was 3rd down and 9. Kristoff out of the shotgun, back to pass. Steps up, throws over the middle, caught, touchdown. Texas Southern fitted that one in there to Fred Plummer. Fred Plummer with his 4th touchdown of the year, the senior from Memphis, and Texas Southern, the first team on the board here in this 3rd quarter. So it was 40-17. That was a 70-yard drive. We had an ejection in there. So kind of a lot happening in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, and again, we had we were probably a little bit too soft right there in the red zone, and they were able to get underneath us. And that's something, we had them, I think that was like 3rd and 9 or 3rd and 10, and we gotta protect the goal line a little bit better.
All right, 6:30, right at the 6:31 mark. We're going to take a 1-minute timeout. We'll get you the bottom of the hour, and we'll look at the 4th quarter, and we'll break down the numbers and talk about the all-academic team, in which there were a number of Alcorn student athletes, including a number of football players, 26 of them. We'll talk about that coming up. We'll be back in 1 minute, 31 minutes after the hour on the Jay Hopson Radio Show.
Are you ready for some b-ball action? Well, get ready as Alcorn State University presents Purple Madness. It's the official party in Raleigh. Come on out and meet the Braves, along with the 2014 preseason SWAC Player of the Year, Lee Antoine Luckett. This event is hosted by men's head basketball coach, the legendary Luther Riley. All this will take place on Monday night, October 20th, 7 p.m. at the Damian Whitney Hyper Complex. Get ready for the slam dunk contest, 3-point shootout, live performances, Nike giveaways, ASU cheerleaders, celebrity judges, Greek Stroloff, and the sounds of dynamite. For more information, visit www.alcornsports.com. It's happening Monday night right here on the campus of Alcorn State University. It's Purple Madness, the official party in Raleigh for the Alcorn Braves. Don't you miss it!
All right, before we continue, it's the bottom of the hour. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to the Alcorn Football Radio Network.
You are tuned in to WPRL 91.7 FM, broadcasting from the campus of Alcorn State University.
Here at the Jay Hopson Radio Show on this Monday night as the Braves hit the road to take on Prairie View with our producer, Jamario Brooks. Glad you can join us on 91.7 WPRL and WPRL.org. Also in Natchez, WMIS and WTYJ in Natchez. Also a new member of the Alcorn Sports Network family, 94.1 WBAD in Greenville joined us, and they'll pick up Braves football for the rest of the season. All right, folks, we want to remind everybody, sign up today for Alcorn State University email updates and text message alerts to your cell phone. Text the word Alcorn Alumni to 91011 or email the words opt-in in the subject line alumni affairs at alcorn.edu. All right, Jay Hopson, fourth quarter. First play of the fourth quarter was a 4th and 1 from Texas Southern's 29-yard line. Aaron Baker didn't pick up the first down. I was very close.
It was close, and that was one, I actually kind of thought on third we got it, you know what I'm saying? But they had a little double edge pressure out there, and their edge blitzers came off, and they hit Aaron right in the backfield right before he could just get his first step going. And give them credit. Those guys two guys, especially the one on our left side, did a great job bending and came off, made a big play.
Texas Southern got a touchdown in the fourth quarter, and the final score was 40-25. You look at the second half. We didn't score in the second half, and was it more so what we didn't do or Texas Southern's defense?
Well, I thought we came down to the we had that 4th and 1 on about the, 25, 30-yard line, and then we came back down again going into score and fumbled around the 10, 12-yard line. So, actually it went kind of fast. The second half, the third quarter just kind of flew by after a couple of possessions. So we really didn't have the ball much. And in the fourth quarter, in all fairness, I thought the first couple possessions of the third, or the only 2 possessions of the third, offensively and defensively, maybe we could execute a little bit better. But the fourth quarter, we really did. We played a lot of our young guys, and, they need that opportunity, and that's something that they need to get in there and get live game experience. And, we certainly had a few mis-executions there, but at the end of the day, it's more benefit than loss because those guys are getting snaps. And, I know I saw big Jeremy Jordan get in there and wreak some havoc on the quarterback one time. Mike Brooks made a play or 2 in there, and so it's always good. We got Darren Anderson and Mike Hearns got some snaps. Big Jamil Johnson got in there and had a big hit down there, so it was good to see those guys. Robert Clay had one nice run, but we got some guys in there. They got some reps. They got some snaps, and so that's important.
Yeah, with the grind of a season, and you never know from game to game, games come down to the wires as you probably expect. Those lack of snaps by the ones could be beneficial as you go forward in a tight game, just give them a little bit of a respite.
Yeah, it's certainly the positives. You keep them healthy going into the next game, and that's always good. And it's also that's how you build depth. That's how you get better. Lenore's, I think, has played really well the last 2. Remember the first game, at Louisiana College, and we know that Texas Southern and Grambling are saying just they're probably a little bit a step up there in competition. But Lenore's, was first game in, and now he's come in the last couple of weeks and done some really good things. So the more you play, it's like anything else in life. The more you get in, the more you do it, the more comfortable you get. And so it's always good to get those young guys in the game and let them develop some confidence and get a rhythm.
With Ragsdale not playing in the game Saturday, the assumption is what are we going to do in the running attack? And we had a very productive running attack.
We've got good running backs, and, that's not really – those guys will be ready to play. And that's something that we try to always have 3 or 4 running backs. And, we've always – I said some guys have stepped to the head of the class, but we're running back by committee football team, always have been, and we will be. So, that's a physical position that you're going to take a lot of hits in. Running back's that spot where you're always getting hit. You got to be tough to play running back. A lot of people like playing running back when they're young because they get to score touchdowns, but as you get older, that's that NFL not for long position.
Yeah.
The running back's the one that, those guys that last 10 years at running back, they're men because you take a lot of hits and you get a lot of punishment is given to you at running back. So we got some tough guys that are physical, and they've done a great job.
37 minutes after, we'll go inside the numbers of the game, some good individual performances, and we'll get to our SWAC report coming up. Also, the all-academic team released by the Southwestern Athletic Conference. We'll talk about that as well. We'll be back in 1 minute. Don't forget, give us a call, 601-877-6595. Send us an email, football@alcorn.edu. We'll have a preview coming up. It was a shootout here last year. Preview scoring points of late. You probably expect a shootout yet again as we head to Blackshear Field as the Panthers and Braves will play for the final time in that stadium 2017. They'll have a new on-campus stadium. I was told it's going to seat about 15,000 by the time it opens up in a couple of years. So we'll take a time out here, 38 minutes after. We'll be back in 1 minute.
Join us any day or every day here at Alcorn State University's dining facility. Come in Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. for breakfast, 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. for lunch, featuring our famous fried chicken every Wednesday. And join us for dinner between the hours of 4:30 p.m. and 6:30 p.m. We also serve brunch every weekend starting at 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays, and dinner from 4:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. And don't forget to follow Braves Dining Facility on Twitter at Braves Dining ASU and on Instagram at Braves Dining, and like us on Facebook at Braves Dining. We hope to see you soon.
All right, welcome back. We are live here at Studio A here at WPRL, the flagship station at WPRL.org. There will be a special reunion, the 1974 National Black Championship Team Reunion Gala, November the 21st. That's the Friday before the Jackson State game at the Battlefield Inn in Vicksburg, I-20 North Frontage Road, 6:30 to 11:30. Tickets are $50. There'll be live entertainment, and all the proceeds will benefit the Alcorn football program. We're going to be talking with Lawrence Pillars coming up on a halftime show in the next few weeks talking about that event. If you have any questions, call Dana Poe at area code 404-735-9920, 404-735-9920.
I give a shout out to Dana and Lawrence. I always love seeing them come by practice at homecoming and visit with them. So appreciate everything you guys do, man.
I tell you what, the homecoming atmosphere, the crowd, the energy, the weather. It took me an hour and 15 minutes to get on campus, and I normally get on campus 8 hours before the game. I know that's crazy. My wife thinks I'm crazy for doing that, but I'm not a big fan of traffic, so that's why to avoid that. But all in all, I thought everything was great, and just the atmosphere, the traffic, the crowd, it was just all good.
It's just such a great atmosphere and such a beautiful campus, and that's something that I think that all the alumni and all the friends and everybody that's here on Saturday afternoon on a beautiful day, just enjoying the tailgating and just the beauty of Alcorn State University. I mean, it is a beautiful campus, and just really, I mean, it really is. Like we said, we need it to be a destination place every home game, but it really is a unique atmosphere, and just really was a special day.
Of all the homecomings, I had never seen one in which folks were kind of marking off their tailgate spots on Tuesday. Typically starting on Thursday and then picking up on Friday, but on Tuesday, folks were kind of marking off their spots.
Yeah, and we had the Winnebagoes coming in early, so I mean that's always a good thing. And like I said, it was good to see Dane and Lawrence. They came by practice, and just good to see all the Braves out there across the pond, getting ready for homecoming.
Talk about that. I mean, former players, former NFL players, former players for the program coming and watch practice. How special is that?
That's great. And of course, we had a camp, and Dave Washington came by and spoke to some young players. So I mean, just to have some of those old guys come back, it just speaks volumes, and it's just great to have them on campus. And we have so many coaches and that are out there throughout the state of Mississippi that are former football players here that did a tremendous job. So it was great to see some of those guys, on the sideline and before the game, and just tremendous tradition and legacy.
Well, let's look at the numbers quickly here, Jay Hopson. 431 yards of offense. I thought Aaron Baker had 100 yards rushing. We were kind of predicting that, but he finished with 89. Talk about his effort.
I thought he ran hard. Aaron's a physical back that's not a lot of fun to bring down in open field.
Yeah.
So I think he's a hard running back, and he's a physical guy that he runs the ball like you're supposed to run the football. So I think he and Train both did a great job, and so that's what we need for the remainder of the season.
When you look at it, I think that you get Aaron Baker out in space. If you got him more on the edges the last couple of games, and you can't bring him down one-on-one, that's for sure.
He's a load, and he is, and he's he's a young man I'm extremely proud of. You know, he like I said, he's overcome a lot in life, and you know, I get a lot of joy watching him play right now because he's playing hard and physical, and he's a young man that he's fought a lot of battles in his young life, but it's great to see a lot of positive things happening for him.
John Gibbs, 15 of 26 for 244, 3 touchdowns. Talk about his afternoon.
I thought John was, I thought he was good in the running game and the passing game with his reads and progressions. I thought he was very solid, did a good job throwing the football. You know, they came out, I think, and tried to give him a lot of pressure, and John did a great job gutting them. So, I mean, that was always good to see.
On the defensive side, Anthony Williams Jr. with 6.5 tackles, Hendrick Taylor 6 tackles, Damian Watkins with 5.5, and Cooks with 4.5.
Yeah, Cookie, you know, he's been hurt since the Southern Miss game. He got hurt like the last drive at Southern Miss. And he actually was our defensive player of the week. Aaron's actually our offensive player of the week, and Hendrick Taylor was our special teams guy. But, you know, Cookie made some big plays. I thought he did a great job pass rushing. A couple times he tracked down the quarterback. But, you know, he's probably getting close back to 100 now. But, you know, he came out there Saturday and had some different special plays.
Defensively, special teams, Corey Carter. We had the 2 best punters in the conference featured. Corey Carter, number 1, Hayden McRaney, number 2. And Corey Carter averaged 52 yards per punt in the game in 5 punts.
He can boom it. He boomed them last year. And, I mean, he's got a strong leg and did a solid job.
And then Davion Porter. Talk about the job the Braves defense held him to just 74 yards.
I thought we did a really good job in the run. You know, I really did. I thought, you know, he had and if you take a look at that, Charles, that number's kind of skewed because he had the 50-yarder on the draw. If we just would have fit the draw, we really would have had a tremendous game stopping the run. But you know, he broke that one, and it is what it is. But I thought we did a good job.
Kristoff had 93 yards, and Smalls passing 78 yards. That's 171 yards passing. As the Braves won 40-25 in a good bounce-back game for the Braves. We'll take a 1-minute break here, 45 minutes after the hour. Give us a call at 601-877-6595. We'll talk about the all-academic team that was released by the Southwestern Athletic Conference this afternoon. There were a grand total of 94 student-athletes on that list, 26 football players. We'll talk about that when we come back and we make the turn, and we'll talk about PVU. They won 3 in a row. Back in 60 seconds.
Hi, I'm Mia Hamm. As a professional soccer player and a future soccer mom, I know how fun and rewarding sports can be. I also know how frustrating it is when you're sidelined by an injury. So I've teamed up with the American Association of Orthodontists to ask young athletes to play it safe when playing sports. I spent years training to become a world-class athlete. I know what it takes to become an expert on the field. Orthodontists understand this too. They're experts in their field, helping kids and adults obtain healthy, beautiful smiles. They want to help athletes prevent injuries and stay in the game. It only takes a second to get hurt, and too many athletes are risking injury because they're not properly equipped during games and practices. Wear the right protective gear, like mouth guards, face masks, and helmets. Your first line of defense against preventable injuries. Play it safe, achieve your goals, and keep smiling. Visit braces.org.
And 81.7 FM WPRL.
All right, 47 minutes after the hour, we're going to go to the phone lines. Jerry Page calling from Shreveport, joining us here on the Jay Hopson Show. Good evening, Jerry.
Good evening. Coach Hopson,
hey,
like
Jerry.
commend you and your staff and the job that the team are doing.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you. How many players do we have injured, and when will the ones be expected to get back?
Well, we have quite a few that we actually redshirted quite a few this year. A lot of people know that were really big playmakers for us last year. You know, we redshirted Deion McNair, Tollette George, Joe Price, to name a few. And, you know, we have a couple guys that are banged up right now, so we're trying to get them back as quick as possible. You know, I kind of don't, you know, with the players playing right now, Jerry, I kind of keep that under hat, you know what I'm saying, when they're going to be back and when they're not. But you know, like I said, we had 3 or 4 guys that were, you know, starters and major contributors for us last year that actually didn't even play this year. So they'll be back next year, ready to go.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Jerry. Appreciate
Keep up the
everything
good
you do.
work.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Goodbye.
All right, Jerry Page joining us. We appreciate his call, and despite the fact that we have had some players out, next man in, and that seems to be the attitude.
That's what it's all about. I mean, that's what football. That's the game we play.
All right, 48 minutes after the hour, Jay Hopson, a very interesting subject here. The all-academic team released by the Southwestern Athletic Conference. There were 26 football players on that list, 94 student athletes in all from Alcorn State University and a variety of sports from baseball to softball to golf. 26 players on that list. And it brings up a very interesting conversation that we don't talk about very much. Talk a little bit about just the work behind the scenes in terms of the type of job these student athletes do and the support staff that make sure that these great student athletes are academically on the up and up.
Well, our young men do a tremendous job. Being a student athlete is always a hard battle because, you have to be disciplined. And that's something we try to preach as a coaching staff to them. And it's all about basically as a football player, especially in the fall, it's academics in football. There doesn't need to be a whole lot of time for social life, and if you're spending too much time in your social life, you're neglecting where you should be at one of the other areas, and that's just the way. The springtime, you get a little bit more time to yourself, but I think to be successful as a student athlete, and we all had to do it, that's the thing that you really have to manage your time, and you have to understand what is important. We've had tremendous help throughout, and I want to give a shout out to Dr. Ward and the foundation, and they've helped us tremendously. Not only with our academics, with our summer program, helping our young men, get the things that they need, whether it be books or enrollment fees and things that we've really leaned on the foundation there, and they've done a tremendous job helping us as a football program, getting these young men the things that they need in order to be successful.
Yeah, when you look at it, and I remember when I was in school, and I was broadcasting in college, and I didn't know this until my last semester, that my mentors were checking up on me periodically to make sure I was going to class, or else I wouldn't be on the air.
Yeah, and we have a lot of our position coaches do a great job too, monitoring our young men. They do. They and the one thing, I'm blessed to have a lot of men that are not only great coaches, they're great men, and they coach their players. It's more than just football. So they're an active part of their lives, and it's I'm truly blessed to have those guys working not only for me but with me. More importantly, and so it's I just appreciate those guys.
What's as a former athlete yourself, what's the toughest part about dealing with this whole academic and athletic thing?
I found as a student athlete, I was actually probably better in the fall than I was in spring because I was, it was a disciplined regimen. There wasn't a lot of time for. When I got more time on my hands in the spring, those grades were a little bit worse in the spring than they were in the fall. So I think the important thing is be disciplined in your schedule. And stay structured. And structure, I think, whether you're a kid, a young man, or a man, structure always helps. And I think that's one thing our guys, do a good job of. They balance their academics and their athletics. And again, I think spring's the real battle with football. Spring is when I noticed, because now there's a little bit more time. You're only down to an 8-hour week, so there's a little bit more time, to kind of get your mind off where it needs to be. So hopefully, we'll finish up with a good semester this fall and carry that on into the spring.
I guess more isn't always good sometimes.
No, especially we were all 18 to 24-year-old young men. So no, I'd say the discipline structure of right now is pretty much class, and it's class, it's football, it's studying, and that's a good combination.
And we've had a great schedule. The trips that we've had, 2.5, 3 hours away, so not that far. We got a couple of long ones coming up.
And football is tough on Fridays because you miss a lot of Fridays. But, some of the sports like basketball and baseball is really tough because you're missing Tuesdays and Thursdays and Wednesdays. And, so football in that regard, even though we have our Friday is really a tough day for our players throughout the season, other than Friday, we have we've got a little bit of an advantage over some of the other sports.
53 minutes after, we're going to take a break, and we'll look at PVU as, once again, the SWAC released their all-academic team. There were 94 Alcorn student athletes in various sports, 26 football players. So congratulations to those student athletes in all sports, and we'll be talking more about that on Saturday. We'll take a break, and we'll look at PVU, Jerry Lovelock and company, as the Panthers have won 3 in a row. They had a shutout going against Valley until the fourth quarter, and we'll talk about it, the final game ever at Blackshear Field. We'll be back in 1 minute on the Jay Hopson Radio Show.
Alcorn State University and the Licensing Administration have joined to coordinate the placement of the university marks, both externally and internally, on items including shirts, caps, or other products. The university licenses will only use those products which reflect positively upon the university and are in keeping with the university's mission. The trademark and licensing of the Alcorn State University insignia was established to protect the Alcorn State University name and identifying marks. Trademark and Licensing Administration works to preserve and promote the university's longstanding reputation as a center of academic and athletic excellence. Merchandise vendors wishing to use the university's identifying marks on commercial products must be licensed vendors who have obtained permission to use Alcorn State University marks by securing trademark licenses. Campus organizations that want university identifying marks on their internal use products must hire licensed vendors to produce these items. To learn more about the licensing and trademark requirements, visit www.alcorn.edu/trademark and licensing administration.
6:55, and of course homecoming is behind us. We can put a capper on this one, Jay Hopson.
And it's home. That's right. I just agree with the manager. I told him at the cafeteria a couple weeks ago. He sees it the way I see it on Saturday.
And it's homecoming. We can put that on the shelf for another year. As we look at the scores quickly from the other night, some high-scoring games. Grambling 63, Pine Bluff 39. Ben Anderson at 467 yards passing. Prairie View beat Valley 52-19. Of course, the Braves with the big win over Texas Southern. Games in the league, there are 4. The Braves had the early game against PVU at 1 o'clock. Alabama State and A&M, that game on ESPN 3 at 2:30. Texas Southern hosting UAPB at 2 o'clock, and 6 o'clock on Saturday from Memorial Stadium, Southern and Jackson State. All right, Jay Hopson, let's look at the Panthers. They beat Valley 52-19. They struggled, but they won 3 in a row. Talk about it.
They're a team, like you said, they actually were the team that I picked to win the West preseason, So, they're a talented football team. They started off with a tough loss to Texas Southern. I think that was a 2-point loss, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Then they actually lost by, I think it was like 10 points to Southern at home, so another kind of close loss. Then they wound up having a heartbreaker at the end, lost to Grambling. They were going kind of in to score at the end of the game. I think they lost 26-20 on that one, so they were going in. And, so those 3 losses against those Western Division foes was really tough for them. And it would have been easy for a football team because, the odds are Grambling's going to win one more. So you're probably, in reality, out of the race. But to come back after those 3 losses speaks volumes for the football team. So they're again, they were my preseason pick to win the West. So we have the utmost respect, and we think they're an outstanding football team. They've bounced back from some tough situations and played really the last 3 weeks. Last week they really put it on Valley, and the week before they put it on Alabama State, and they had a big win versus Jackson where they came back and wound up winning that game. So we have the utmost respect for Prairie View, and again, we know we got to be ready to play on Saturday.
I was at the Jackson State Prairie View game, and Jackson State, kind of had them on the ropes in the first half, but Prairie View and that read option, they do kind of the same kind of things with their quarterback and Lovelock, who's been banged up. He's 6'5", 200. Talk about him.
Really, good quarterback. Makes all the throws. Like I said, it was preseason all SWAC, and he's a guy that has been a good player there for 3 years now. And he's a guy that runs the operation and has done it well. So we got to be ready for him, and they've got some talented receivers and running backs.
Yep, and in the backfield, Jonathan Hebert, who had 119 yards and a touchdown against Mississippi Valley. They ran for 212 against Valley. And then the receiving category, Greg Thurman, who had 2 touchdowns, 152 yards on 3 receptions.
Yeah, had some big balls. They threw some, just some deep posts and fades, and he went up and got it. So, again, they have some guys that have big play capability.
Defensively, Jay Hopson, what jumps off the sheet?
The linebackers are they're active and physical, and that's something that I think, I'm always a guy with numbers, not names, but 40 and 53 run around and make a lot of things happen.
I see 53, that's Danny Brownwell, as a linebacker, senior from Houston.
Mm-hmm. Good player.
So, Coach, as we wind it up here, good to see the Braves bounce back, and it's going to be interesting with a bye week coming up. This Prairie View team, and you talked about it, how they started out slow. They probably were about a half a dozen plays from probably only having 1 loss. They've lost some close games, but, how a team bounces back is always important, and Prairie View a red-hot team right now.
Yeah, they are. I mean, 3-0 in their last 3 conference games. And, again, like I said, they were my pick going in, to the season. So we know they got a good football team.
Braves football coming up at 1 o'clock. We have the early game, pregame show at 12:30. Coach, let's go get them.
Thanks, Charles.
A lot of games in the league. Braves control their own fate, and we'll try to keep it going at Prairie View. Pregame at 12:30, kickoff at 1 o'clock. Don't forget the Purple Madness starting in about a minute from the Davy L. Whitney Complex. I'll be heading over there shortly for all the activities. Jane Miles standing by with the live coverage on WPRL and WPRL.org. That'll do it for the Jay Hopson Radio Show. For our producer, Jamario Brooks, and the coach, I'm Charles Edmond. Highlights next week as the Braves are off next week. So long.